So guys, today back from a video on the channel. Today we're doing the player ratings for the 2018-2019 season for the Newcastle United squad. We're going to go through every player that's played some sort of minute in a Newcastle United shirt this season. If that's in the Cup, any Premier League game, we're going to rate them on their performances throughout the full season. We'll go over some key points, and I've got a lot of videos planned now. I've got a couple that I need to record, so it should be good. But anyway, before I start off the video, make sure to follow my Instagram, my Snapchat, my Twitter, all in the description. I do a lot of work on Instagram. I've got nearly getting up to 4k followers on there, so it would be a lot if you could go and follow it. And yeah, let's start off with the goalkeepers and move up to the forwards. So we're going to be starting off with Newcastle United's, we'll say number 1. He is number 12 for Newcastle. Could change next season, it probably will. It's Martin Dubravka. What a season he's had. I think he's potentially the best keeper we've had since Shea Given. What a player he is. What a performance he's had throughout the full season. Yeah, he had a couple of mistakes against like, the Wolves one. I'm not even going to talk about that. The Spurs one, the Man United one. But you look at that, 7 points dropped. But he saved us so many games, like Huddersfield away, Southampton away. A lot of games he saved us, and he's performed really well. He should be number 1 next year, like the number 1 shirt. But for me, Martin Dubravka has been absolutely superb all season. Next player is Arlo, who looks like he probably will leave in the summer. He's been at the club for 5 years now, and he only had that 1 game against Forest. And I think if Woodman's name was a bit more out there, he probably could have played in that game, and Darlow might not have played 1 minute of football. But I have to give him a 3. Like, I can't give him much more, can't give him much less, because in the Forest game, it was probably our worst game of the season, but it wasn't his fault why we lost. So 3 out of 10 for me for Darlow. And the final goalkeeper we're going to talk about is Freddie Wiseman. He played the 3 games in the FA Cup, the first game against Blackburn, and then the replay, and then Watford. So it was good for him to get some experience against a Premier League side rather than a Championship side than Luton the other season. But for me, Freddie Wiseman performed quite well in them games. In the replay one, he made a couple of mistakes. He just, the 2 goals he maybe could have done a little bit better on. But apart from that, I think Freddie Wiseman's one for the future. Yeah, Dubravka's he's not gonna overtake Dubravka, but Dubravka is 30 years old, so he's probably only got about 5 years left with football. But we'll have to just wait and see. For Woodman, I'd give him a 6 out of 10. I think it's been a decent season for him to get some experience with the first team and stuff. So yeah, Freddie Woodman gets a 6 out of 10. So on to the defenders now. We're going to be starting off with Kieran Clark. He played 11 games for Newcastle this season. He got 3 goals. He got the same amount of goals as Joselu. Like, it speaks for it all, doesn't it? But Clark, I think, obviously with injuries and stuff, it hasn't helped. But when he came in, he's done a job. Yes, we might have to look at someone better and someone who's more of a Premier League defender, but for me, Clark gets a 6 out of 10. I would have given him a bit more if he played most games, but he only played 11 games for Newcastle this season. Next up, we've got Paul Dummett, who, yes, was injured for a lot of the season, but he performed well at the end of it, where Lejeune's got injured. But with players coming in and not like letting other players get a chance, it is hard for them. And Dummett is not a left wing back. He hasn't got the pace to go up the field, but Dummett gets a 7 out of 10 for me. I think he's the most consistent player this season. Like, yes, he might have 1 bad game or something like that, but most of the time when Newcastle play well, he's one of the players who really stands out for you. And for me, Dummett gets a 7. Next up, we've got someone who's had a fantastic season with Newcastle. He scored 4 goals, and he's been absolutely superb. It's Fabian Schär. What a season he's had for £3.5 million. What a bargain, and that's what Ashley's hoping for as an owner. He's looking at players like him who can come into the side and do a job, and he's done more than a job. He's give the full team some spirit. I was going to give him a 9 because he didn't play until about November, but his performances have been absolutely superb. It's scoring goals, it's helping the team. Like that Cardiff game, I remember what to call it, winning 2-0 after his goal. They were on the attack, right, and Hoylett had put a ball in the box, and he just slid in an amazing tackle. So for me, Fabian Schär gets a 10 out of 10. Merit Player of the Year, that's it for a different video, the awards video, which will be coming out soon. Follow my Instagram if you want to go and vote for the stuff like that on my highlights on my Instagram page. But Fabian Schär, 10 out of 10. And next up, we've got the captain, Jamaal Lascelles. For me, it's been a disappointing season for Jamaal Lascelles. I think we could cope without him in our squad at the present time. If Lejeune was fit and we had Lejeune, Schär and Dummett, I think that would arguably play better. But you think at the times Lascelles is never that player who does, okay, he's done alright. He's either class or absolutely shite. When he got that injury and he didn't play for a while, when he came back, he was shit. He came back for that Wolves game when we lost 2-1 and both goals were his fault. And for me, he gets a 6 out of 10, and this season could have been the time to get an England call up if he had a good season, but for me, not for me. Jamaal Lascelles gets a 6 out of 10. So now moving on to Federico Fernandez. For me, he's had a decent season. Yes, near the end of it, he hasn't had any game time, but if we didn't have him at the start of the season, yeah, we probably would have played Shaw or someone else, but he was arguably the best player in 2018, like for the start of the season. He was superb. He really gave the full team a lift, and he just he's got the Premier League experience, and that's what you need as a defender. Yes, you're obviously going to get it whenever, but bringing him in has helped the team. It give competition for other defenders. So I think if we didn't sign Fernandez on the final day, it shocked us to think, right, my position's sorted, I can just play football week in, week out and not worry about my position getting dropped or anything. But Fernandez came in and he's ruffled a couple of feathers, and I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 because his performance at the start of the season was superb. I remember the block he done against Bournemouth when it was 0-0 in the first half. He was superb. Yes, he had a couple of bad games like the West Ham one when we lost 3-0 and 2-2 against Bournemouth. For me, Fernandez had a solid season and his first season with Newcastle. And next up, we've got Javier Mascherano. Yes, he had a decent end of the season. Overrunning Yedlin. Yes, Yedlin got a little bit of an injury, but after Yedlin's performances this season, I don't blame Rafa for playing Mascherano. I've given Mascherano a 5 out of 10. Some games he was like, whoa, he's absolutely shocking. But to be fair, he got a couple of assists. The Shaw goal, the absolute rocket, he got the assist for that one. Rondon's goal against Liverpool, he got the assist for that one. For Rondon's goal against Huddersfield, he got the assist. So, but I'll tell you what the thing is about Javier Mascherano, right? When he goes up the field, right, and say if he goes out for a goal kick, he'll just jog back, and you kind of do that in the Premier League because you will get punished, and a couple of times that did happen. So for me, Mascherano gets a 5 out of 10, and I think we might see him go in the summer. That's another video, keep or sell video. I've had so many messages saying, "Oh, you're doing a keep or sell." It will be happening. So yeah, I was about to say Fabian Schär. Javier Mascherano, 5 out of 10. Next up, we've got Florian Lejeune. Yes, he hasn't played that much games, but in them games he played, he was absolutely superb. Everyone can say that he really, really made that defence solid again, and he came in and it was happy to see, because normally when you've got an injury for that long, you'll come in and you won't do as good. You have to have a couple of games to get back at yourself, and he's came in and just done his job. That's what it is about Florian Lejeune, he does his job. If he played all season the way he did, he probably would have got a 10, but for I don't know how many games he played, maybe he's only about, I couldn't tell you, about 12 to 15. That's stuff that I'm just guessing, but I've given him an 8 out of 10. Yes, he was injured for a lot of it, but for me, Florian Lejeune, we've got to keep him. I think teams will look at him if he overcomes his injury before pre-season, but we'll have to see what happens with his injury and recover well, mate. And the final defender we're going to be talking about is DeAndre Yedlin. Personally, I'm not a fan of him, right? Yes, he's got pace, which is key as a right back, but he cannot defend. He cannot defend. He's cost us points this season, definitely, and we need a right wing back who's capable of doing all the jobs that Yedlin cannot do. So yes, we need someone who's quick and can get up the field, but we need someone that can come back, defend. Because when you see when Fabian Schär goes on his run, right, and then we lose the ball, Yedlin can't just go into centre back because he's shit. He cannot defend, and for me, he gets a 5 out of 10. I think it's been a very disappointing for Yedlin. Yes, everyone's had a couple of good games this season, but for me, he just hasn't got it, and he hasn't got the quality to be a Newcastle player. Right, so on to the midfielders now. We're going to be starting off with K Sung-young. Came in, first season with Newcastle. Obviously, he's had Premier League experience before. For me, K gets a 7 out of 10. I would have given maybe an 8 if he played a lot more games, but obviously the Asia tournament or trophy. He didn't start until Bournemouth at home, which was the 10th of November, so quite a long time. But K really got into the team then. Yes, he had a couple of starting like Chelsea and stuff at the start of the season, but he couldn't get into the team. And when he came in, we started winning games. Like when you played Shelvey at the start of the season and Diarmi, we just weren't winning any games. And with K, we started to do something, and he brings it 10 yards forward, and that's what he showed against Watford. When he brings the ball forward, it's something that we've missed because Shelvey's not runner, and then obviously Rafa likes that defensive midfielder like the Diarmi, Hayden. So for me, K gets a 7 out of 10, and hopefully he can stay at Newcastle next season and keep the performances up. Right, next up we've got Jonjo Shelvey. It's been a disappointing season for Shelvey. We all expected him to get the call up for England last summer, but it wasn't the case, and Shelvey just hasn't really hit it this season. Obviously injuries haven't helped, but at the start of the season when he was playing, we didn't win games, and then when K came in, as I said, we started winning games, and it looked like we didn't really need him, and I don't think we still do. Yes, I think that goal against Fulham really helped, and you can tell he wants to stay, but is he going to be in Rafa's plans? Who knows? I've given him a 5 out of 10. A disappointing season for Jonjo Shelvey. So next up we've got Mo Diarmi. Looks like he will be leaving in the summer, and it has been a disappointing season. It was like the Diarmi from the Championship season, he just wasn't that good. Last season, well, I'll say last season, the season before that, he was superb. Like the first half of the season he was terrible, and then he came out and had a really good season. For me, Mo Diarmi gets a 4 out of 10. He kind of passed the ball. We need to improve on him. Obviously he's 32 years old, I think, so he's getting to his age, but for me, has to go in the summer. 4 out of 10 for Mo Diarmi. Next up, yes, he has played left wing back, but on One Football, what I use, he's a midfielder. So we've got Matt Ritchie. He's had a great season at Newcastle. Will he stay next season? Most likely. You can tell he wants to be here. You tell he wants to be here with Rafa Benitez, of course. So for me, Matt Ritchie gets an 8 out of 10. Left wing back, yes, it's completely different to being a winger, and he's coped with the position superbly. So for me, Matt Ritchie gets a solid 8 out of 10. Next up we've got Isaac Hayden. What a bloke he is. What a bloke he is. With his family issues, right, most players would just say, I'm not playing, I don't want to play for the club. But he's got a job to do. He's came into the squad because of injuries, and what a season he's had. If he didn't have that red card against Cardiff, 10 out of 10. But he didn't start playing until about the January time, so Hayden gets a 9 out of 10 for me. I would love to give him a 10, but I can't because of the start of the season. But Hayden, superb. No Newcastle fan wants him to leave, but the amount of money we're going to make from him, hopefully, please Ashley, we can invest that on someone different. Next up, we've got one of the most disappointing players of this season. He came in, everyone's happy, he joined the club again, and it's been shocking. It's Kennedy. What a terrible season it has been for him. One game I can say he's had a good game, which was Watford at home. I thought he was really good in that game, but he's just not to our standards. After that penalty miss against Cardiff, it's just not his head. And that game, why would you put him on it? He didn't make a pass. Should have got sent off. And he was shocking all game. Why put him on the pen? This is what I always say, right? It was Muto who won the pen. This is what I say. If your penalty taker is not on the pitch, whoever won the pen takes it. Doesn't matter what situation it's in, unless like it's the centre back and he can choose. Well, I say choosing, just give the ball to whoever. If it's an attacking player, and if they say like Muto should have took that pen, and it could have been a dream start for him and could have went on to do better things this season. But Kennedy's been disappointing. You can see him. He isn't interested in the club. You can see he's more happy about going out on the quayside at 12:30 at night. Like He obviously kind of dry because I met at the training ground. He's a canny lad, don't get us wrong, but his quality isn't there for a Newcastle player. Will he be in the Chelsea team next season? Probably with the transfer ban, but will he get into it? Probably not. And next up, we've got Newcastle United's record signing, Miguel Almiron. I've given him a 7 out of 10. It's been a great season for him. Could have got up to an 8 or 9 if he got a goal, but he got no goals, no assists. But the way he gave the team a full lift was absolutely magnificent. I don't know if it was just him or the money that was spent on him, but if it was the money, it just shows, right, more money invested in the club, the better we can do. I think if we didn't sign Almiron, yes, he didn't get any goals or assists, but Otsu would have been playing all season, and we don't want that. We really don't want that. So Almiron could have got an 8 or 9 with goals and assists, but we'll see him next season. See next season he'll get 5 goals, but like 15 assists. Miggy lad, do it next season. Just mentioned him before. On to him now, Christian Otsu. I don't want to mention a keep or sell video because that's going to be a separate video, but Otsu, he says that every season at the end of the season you go, oh yeah, I'm ready for next season, I'm going to be working so hard and stuff, but I don't know why. It's just he hasn't really done it in the Prem for Newcastle. He loves Christmas. I don't know why that is. Otsu gets a 5 out of 10. I would probably give him a 4, but he got that goal against Liverpool, which really helped, and it's been disappointing. Don't get us wrong, he's a canny lad, he's done so much work, and he's currently doing charity work and stuff. He's having, I think he's having another kid, he'll have 3 kids now. Fair play, hope you do well, mate, but your quality isn't quite there for Newcastle. And finally for the midfielders, he leaves one man only. He only played 9 games, he got injured, but he has been absolutely outstanding. It's Sean Longstaff. What a player he is. And with Man United wanting him, I don't blame them for going after him. What a player he is. If he played 15 games plus, he would have got a 10 out of 10 for me, but he gets a 9 out of 10. What a season it's been for the young lad. What a player he is. If you know Harry from the vlogs, canny lad obviously Harry. He went to Harry's school, just a fact for you all, but for me, Sean Longstaff's been absolutely superb. He's so calm on the ball, and especially him and Hayden. For Pep Guardiola, he's worked with Iniesta, Xavi, David Silva. I could go on for days. Frank Ribery, any midfielder, right? He said Manchester City couldn't handle Sean Longstaff and Isaac Hayden, like. And I think after that game, Longstaff just went for it, and I was so happy he got that goal against Burnley. It was his final home game before he got injured, and will he get in the start 11 next season? We'll have to wait and see, but for me, Longstaff, 9 out of 10, superb season. And now that just leaves the attackers, and we're starting off with Newcastle's number 9, the club's player of the year, Salomon Rondon. What a season, man. What a season it has been for him. We have to sign him no matter what. If we do not sign Salomon Rondon, God knows where we will be next season. If we didn't sign Rondon that season, we would have been relegated. Right, I know obviously maybe these other strikers would have scored, but if you just took Rondon's goal away and then took all the points off the games, Newcastle United would have been relegated. What a crucial player he is. What a crucial player he is, and we have to sign him. Ashley was there against Fulham, and he was. I think Rondon, because obviously Rondon wants to stay. I think Rondon has a slight feeling he was there, and he stunned that show that game. Some of his goals were absolutely crucial throughout the full season, and for me, Salomon Rondon only gets a 10 out of 10. We'll have to see what happens with him next season. If we do sign him, we can push for top 10, 100%, but we'll have to see what happens. How solid lad, how big Ronnie, we want you to stay. And next up we've got Yoshinori Muto. It has been a disappointing season in his eyes. He hasn't had the game time that he wanted, but for me, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. I'm a massive fan of Muto. I think we do need to give him time, and we can't write off this player because, like, look at Tovan, right? 1 season at the club, went to Marseille, and he won the World Cup. He won the World Cup, right? And I'm not saying Muto's not going to win the World Cup or anything like that, but we can't write players off. we can hit right players off at this club, and we need to give him a shot. We really do. He's been working hard. I've seen on his Instagram that he's been doing a lot of fitness work. I hope the God he does get the game time he deserves. Hopefully pre-season he can get 2 or 3 goals and he can push on from there next season. Hopefully we keep him. He gets a 5 out of 10 for me. And next up we've got Jose Perez. What a setting off the season he's had, but I've got to be honest, at November, December time, I wanted him gone. I wanted him sold. I was sick of him. I was actually sitting there on my seat, up in the family zone. Like, my brain was fizzling. I just didn't want him on the pitch. It was just hurting us seeing him trying to hold the ball up and try and lay it off and stuff. It was just annoying watching him play. And if he didn't have that setting off the season, I think we would have to let him go. But we need to keep Perez, we need to keep Rondon, and that strike force really works. It helps Salomon getting used to the club. Rondon's obviously used to Perez. Their partnership has been superb, and people have been mentioning like the Callum Wilson-Fraser partnership with goals and assists. I could Rondon and Perez must be up there, so I'm giving Perez a 9. I would probably give him a 10, but he started the season was shocking. For me, he probably was Newcastle United's player of the year for just this year, but we'll have to see what happens next season, and hopefully he stays. And finally, people, we're ending off with the biggest bang of the season. What a player he is, right? I don't want to get into much detail, but I think he could be up there for the Ballon d'Or next season. It's Otsu. I'm giving him a 2. Oh my God, it was frustrating watching him play. I went to the Blackburn game in the cup, right, and me and my dad were there, and he's not massive on Newcastle. He knows like the basics and stuff, but he was like, well, seeing that he's playing for Real Madrid, you can see that he's got something there. He just doesn't know what's happening. But my dad got frustrated with him, and he doesn't really like football. He's 50 odd years old, for God's sake, and for me, Otsu is just not there for Newcastle. Get him gone, get him out the door. Sign one more to this lad from Club Bruges or whatever. Get him in instead for him. Otsu gets a 2. And we're just going to quickly end off with Rafa Benitez. Yes, I don't know when this video is going out. I'm recording it on Sunday. God knows when it's going out. But with the news with Rafa, he better stay. He has to stay. I'm giving him a 10 out of 10, of course. What a man he is. So, Rafa, we want you to stay. Rondon, we want you to stay. And that's going to be the end of the video. Make sure to leave a like on it. Subscribe if you're new. Follow my social links in the description. And it's been a long video, so I do appreciate you sitting through looking at this for the God knows how long the video's been. But thank you everyone for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you all for the next one. More Newcastle videos are coming soon. Thanks for watching, and yes, goodbye.